Good afternoon, America, and good afternoon to you, wherever you are in this big world. This is Dr. Churi, and today we're going to have another interesting video. Well, you know what? It's Sunday, so we all have quite a lot of good time doing nothing, so might as well be entertained and being educated. All right, now, I got an email from a friend of mine who says, yeah, Louis, your predictions about David Icke came to pass. I said, what do you mean? He said, your last SOS to the world mentioned the beginning or ending of important phases of life. And in fact, in your video yesterday or the day before, you mentioned something about David Icke being stuck in Los Angeles during the same window. Guess what? I said, what? He said, YouTube has deleted all these videos, and I think Facebook did the same or something like on this nature. So I said, well, you know what? Instead of saying that the very, very nasty, serious Holocaust never took place, or saying that Sandy Hook was staged, and of course COVID-19 and 5G are related. I think you should have read my newsletter. So again, David, you did suffer another my prediction, not only the one you're losing your legal battle. All right, so let me tell you a few things, because I don't want you to think I don't really like David, and I should not like him. But let's get from the beginning. Back in 1995, okay, that was because of Jordan Maxwell that invited David, John Rappaport, and myself to sign up at the Truth Seeker in San Diego. That was years and years ago, in 1995, something like that. That's where we all started. And again, if it wasn't for Jordan Maxwell, there'll be no David Icke, Dr. Churi, or John Rappaport, whatever. So thanks to you, my good friend. All right, so what I'm trying to say here, I was his confidant for years. Him and Pamela, his wife, which live in Sedona next door. We're still good friends. Wherever he was emailing me, asking me about this, asking me about that. So I was guiding him. And he also had every one of my books for free. All right, so what I'm trying to say is, one day he says to me, Louis, I'm going to go to the Isle of Wight, and I'm going to write a book on the reptilians. He called them the reptilians. Draco told me the real name is reptilius. So I look at this chart and I said, you know what, David, it's not a good idea for you to go and write this book in the Isle of Wight, right here, right now. And he goes, why not? I said, because the tail of the dragon is in your subconscious. What does it mean? I said, when the tail of the dragon is in your subconscious, you are delegating with forces that you may not necessarily understand or even control, for that matter. So I try to explain to him that the superconscious allows you to dig into areas that are forbidden for certain people. And unless you are either gifted, Nostradamus, Edgar Casey, Madame Blavatsky, Dr. Churi, born with a very strong positive Pisces or dragon seed in Pisces, you can dwell on this mysterious world safely. But David is not cosmic conscious. It doesn't have the stars. So I warn him that it could activate forces and see things that you would see, only if you're a drug addict. So to make the story short, he actually saw the reptilius. He saw those ugly entities. And David is very, very focused when he writes a book. And during those days, I had my TV show that came out with William Shatner, and I was just sharing my news with him. Oh my gosh, he took it the wrong way. And then that's what started our fallout. And you can read all the details in the links of our private email conversation that got things saved. His ego, his insecurity, his guilt, I don't know what, turned out years and years of friendship into a total nightmare. So what happened is, under specific certain stars during my cosmic windows, put it this way, and knowing that he had the tail of the dragon in his subconscious, he was able to actually see those things working out on the wall, put it this way, okay? And he got frightened, he got really, really scared. And in his mind, because he's an Aries, he was born in April, I know his sun sign is in Taurus, but you know, I don't practice modern astrology. That start and finish on your horoscope newspaper. I practice Nostradamus 16th century divine astrology, which is very symbolic and very intuitive, very different than modern astrology. So I told him that you would steal those forces because of the dragons in your subconscious, and then I don't know how you're going to react. That's why I suggested him not to write this book during this timing. Of course, he did not listen. And as an Aries, Aries is the baby of the zodiac. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. They learn only by mistake, and they don't necessarily listen to you. And they are talking head. They can talk you to death and say a lot of jokes. That's what Aries is all about. So he didn't pay attention to what I said, and he associated power and money with people who have a position of power and fame, or Obama, the Queen of England. And in his mind, he had to come up with something that makes sense, something that he witnesses. In his mind, these people all of a sudden shift into lizards. No one shapes into a lizard in this dense physical world. I tried to challenge him and explain to him the draconius and the reptilius are already in your head. Okay, luckily for me, he didn't take that information and start to write books about it like he did with Moon Power and reinvent himself with all my cosmic wisdom. But that's okay, it's karma. So what I'm trying to tell you, like I do with President Trump, I don't care if you support the president or if you don't. I'm not into politics. I'm into the stars, the cosmic code, extraterrestrials, and what they did to me. Allow me to read people like an open book and to expose their UCI, their unique celestial identity, their sins and virtues. So when I expose an Aries for what they are, take it as is, not because I hate you. David was born 9 days after Hitler, okay? And Hitler had fear of power and wealthy people, and that's why he burned all the Jews. You need to understand the idiosyncrasies of people and why they do what they do because of their stars, which are being manipulated by those extraterrestrials. So, okay, I gave you all this wisdom all over the years. You did what you did. You became David Icke. But remember one thing. That's what I'm trying to tell all of you. Do not know the full story here. You know, I arrived in the United States in 1984 with $50 in my pocket. I was homeless. I had nobody. I had no friends. You are going to know how I end up in LA after meeting an American guy in a bar, and he's born in Sussex, England, that gave me a quarter and his business card. And I'm still looking for the guy. You're going to hear all that in my upcoming movie on Amazon. What I'm trying to tell you is, I arrived here with nothing, okay? David arrived here, okay, with a limousine waiting for him at the airport, $1 million house where he was supposed to be taken care of, and a big fat contract. Me, nothing. And that's okay. It was supposed to be this way. I'm not upset. I'm not jealous. I'm not envious. I understand karma. For if I did not did that my way, okay, I did it my way, put it this way, I would not be Dr. Cherry, and you would not be listening to me and making you aware that David is infected. He's completely and entirely infected. because of his fear of money, his fear of power, just because he's an Aries. That's the way it is. My God, if you know somebody born in April, you better be careful of your wallet, because they are master in handling other people, money and power. And that's where they are master. That's why he's a master. And he will go to extreme to maintain his position, to maintain his deception, his misinformation, his lies. Okay. When I predicted the killing at the college. Oh gosh, when I channel, I'm so sorry. When I channel, I tend to forget my words. I'm gonna come back here. When I predicted the Sunday hook, and you can watch the video. Okay, now these people shed real, true tears. The pain of the survivors, the parents and the friends losing their kids in that college, in that school, was terrible. And for him to say it was staged, or for him to say the Holocaust did not exist, that brought him to have his ass kicked from Australia. And now to say idiocy like coronavirus is connected with the 5G technology. It's against stupidity. I'm not saying there is no connection. There is a connection, obviously, with any form of technology that interfere with your brain, but it has nothing to do with the virus. So, you know, there are a lot of very powerful people out there who like me, have good critical thinking, and they don't go for this type of controversial, this type of stupidity. But a lot of people vibrate like him, like they vibrate at President Trump's speed. They're afraid of foreigners. They don't like black people. They don't like gays. They don't like Chinese. And they stimulate the thought. And you know my story. You heard my videos before. The future being the reincarnation of the thought, ergo's coronavirus, or SARS, or any disease that killed the gays, AIDS. It's all created by the thought. Okay, the same type of thought led Hitler to do what he did by killing all the very powerful Jews who had a position of control. Okay, now David is just like any one of us. He's subconsciously reacting to his thoughts, which are being handled or manipulated, to be more precise, by the reptilius, and led him to make a living with conspiratorial material. I understand that, as long as he does not do no damage. But the draconists saw that. He said, okay, it's time for you to go where you belong, in the darkness, and stop endorsing the reptilius agenda by forcing you to fear you're going to end up in the concentration camp because of your government, or the Illuminati are controlling everything and they are cooking children and eating children. This does not mean that the conspiracy are not real. Believe me, I know they are real, but you need to understand the limits and how far people will go. They cannot change their stories because this is what they have said for years. But you know what? Not everybody will swallow stupidity forever. So I'm here. I'm here to offer you a way out, an understanding of what's going on. You know, when David came in Phoenix, I went to get him in his hotel. I had, during those days, a radio show. I took him to the radio, but you could see the pictures of me and him in the studio. The first thing he says, "My gosh, why do you drive a Hammer?" I said, "Because I can't afford it, and I like a big Hammer." That was his first thing. And then this guy is making tons and tons of money all over the place, and he's asking people to pay for his divorce. Oh, wait a minute here. You cannot be that greedy, David. Okay, so that kind of made me wonder when he did that. Okay, but anyway, what I'm trying to say that he never, ever has endorsed me, ever. Okay, and I gave him my book, and I guide him from all over the place, and I got him in his hotel, and I put him on my radio show and everything else. Then he found this psychic lady, her name is Carol Clark. Push her everywhere, advertise her everywhere, yet she has never ever made one single prediction that came to pass for him or for the world, or any earthquake prediction like I do, or the coronavirus that was predicted last August in my books. and on radio, and the fire that took place 2 weeks after I was on coast to coast in Australia, killing all these animals, all explained in great detail. That's the difference between a Neptunian, a deceptive Neptunian, serving and slaving for somebody who works with the reptilius and Dr. Cherry. That's why I want you to sign my petition and start to bring love and light and understanding, and stop fears and misinformation and poisoning the rest of people out there. What I'm trying to tell you here is that no one turned into a lizard, okay? And not only rich people, famous people, and actors, people who own the position of power are infected. Every one of us is, to a certain degree, infected, including myself. When I drink beer, it's not me anymore. These are the toys that the reptilians use, legal or illegal drugs, to hijack your body, your mind, and your soul. The reptilians cannot survive unless you're negative, unless you support and promote chaos. That's why they put people like David Icke or President Trump in position of power to fulfill a karmic purpose that you're totally oblivious of. And I'm trying to explain all that to you, okay? It's not that I don't like President Trump. It's not that I don't like David Icke. I'm just doing what I do best, using forensic astrology or astropsychology, exposing the idiosyncrasy, the fate and the stars of those people, and making you aware that you may vibrate at their low cosmic vibration and endorse and support and believe you're going to end up in a concentration camp. Believe that the Holocaust never took place. Believe that Sandy Hook was staged. God knows what, my friend. No, be careful. Do not just take it in just like that. Use critical thinking. And I'm glad that this channel is growing every single day, because more and more people are finally awakening to true information. Now, because you have names and because you're power, or because you're David Icke, doesn't mean you know the truth. There's a lot of people talking about UFOs in so many channels all over the place. You go and read that 400, 560,000 hits. Yet none of those people went through what I went through. And the majority of these people have never seen a UFO. That makes it even worse. Yet they have been put in a position of power by the reptilians to disinform you, to lead you into chaos, into fear, so that they can survive in dark matter. You know, when David talks about the reptilians, he does not see the extraterrestrials acting the effect of all the extraterrestrial in all our mind. This is only rich and powerful people, like the Queen of England, Obama. I mentioned that earlier. No, my friend, every one of you out there watching me right here, right now, including Dr. Cherry, are under the jurisdiction of those entities. Extraterrestrials are master of matter. They are the best engineers from the higher order you could ever imagine. They do not care if you're President Trump, if you have a position in the army or the Navy, or if you're a scientist. They don't care, okay? They are looking for something they have lost. You heard me before, okay? So do not expect your government to tell you about extraterrestrials. They don't know. They just finally release a video making all these jerks, all these idiots who have bashed me for years, saying I'm a lunatic, ETs are not real, and you're not real, and Draco is not real. Make them look like where they belong, like dirt in the shame. Years and years I did suffer their stupidity, and they're finally being awakened by the government, who still does not know what the hell's going on with extraterrestrials, my friends. Okay, so take it from the real source. When I tell you I have had 5 UFOs experience, I'm not talking about a light in the sky. I'm not talking about a walk-in. I'm not talking about something that I made up at 70 years old. Don't you think I am past getting bull? I'm dealing with reality here. Deal with people been there. You heard it all about extraterrestrials. There's so many talking heads that talks about UFO. It's insane. And the majority of these people, if not all of them, never, ever have a contact with extraterrestrials. I did. But I'm not saying this on an egocentric point of view, where you're going to start to say, well, this is the biggest egocentric man in the world. Only him has seen UFOs. No. That's not my goal. It's not my direction. Okay. I just want you to start to use critical thinking. And if you're going to gain information from ETs, you might as well deal with somebody who's been there, done that. You know, if you want to learn how to sing and dance, you want to ask Michael Jackson, God bless his soul. That's what I'm trying to say. Again, I can only repeat myself. David Icke was born 9 days after Hitler. Okay, he's an Aries, a talking head. His sun sign is in Taurus, money, wealth, power. We know that. Okay. Now, all Aries have a fear of power, and they are all about money. It's just the way it is. Doesn't mean all Aries are bad. My own wife is an Aries. Okay? She loves to talk. She likes to write. She says jokes. Maybe sometimes she doesn't pay attention to what I tell her, and she sign up for anything and everything that I don't exactly believe. But that's her. And if it wasn't for me knowing the stars, I could not delegate my wife. But I understand her. I understand her stars, her UCI. And that's why I make our relationship, our marriage, it becomes a real possibility, a long-lasting responsibility, veracity in the process. But what I'm trying to tell you, my friend, I am not here to bash anybody. I'm here to expose something which is well past the 5 rational sense of any human being. Okay, I have been blessed or cursed. I don't know whatever happened to me. Okay, and I cannot wait for that movie to come out. So you're going to get a better understanding on the reptilius effect, how incredibly deceptive and powerful and smart those entities, the good one and the bad ones, are. As much as the reptilius put people like David Icke, Joel Osteen, Kim Jong-un, whomever, Trump in power, okay? Or anybody that you don't like in power. As much as the reptilians do this with these kind of people, the Draconis do the same with people like me. You are constantly bombarded. You have a reptilian mind and you have a Draconis mind. The ETs are with you, part of your conception, part of the universal design. Understand that. Okay. Again, like I said yesterday, this does not mean they're not going to connect physically because a higher order imposed by the Galactic Federation or Grand Cosmic Order who wants certain no abductee but contactee to fulfill a mission. They put them in power. They do a series of abduction to stimulate their psyche, to induce and channel information or power that can be remotely unintelligible and impossible to digest or understand from a normal people. I'm one of those, okay? So you have the right to deny, suspect, maybe do not trust me. You have the right to do all these things. And it's only through investigation and critical thinking that you will come to the reality that I am real. Okay, and I have better thing to do than to make up stories about UFOs. Like David Icke does with the, anything that he's talking about. Again, this does not mean everything that he talks about does make no sense, because it does. There's a lot of things that his genius is able to do. I'm not denying this. You probably, if you heard this lecture, gained something. But if you're left with confusion and fear and more questions than answers, chances are you've been conned by the reptilius, because he's slaving for the reptilius himself, because much that comes out of his mouth is fears and negativity or endorsing the reptilius agenda. I'm trying to do totally the opposite. We are now in a situation which is totally critical. Okay, if I tell you that this virus will never be conquered and is going to infect the entire world and kill millions, what would you say? Of course you wouldn't like it. Okay, I'm not going to say anything that could stimulate more fear and more negativity. You don't need me to tell you that. The scientists, if you use logic, don't even know what it is. They don't even know where it comes from. Logically, rationally, it's coming from China. Okay, as predicted last August in my book, was made by a bunch of scientists who were cursed literally by the reptilians, and that thing went out of order, came out, and there goes the result. Okay, our life is changed. Okay, now the timing is, as long as President Stars overrun this world, the coronavirus will survive. Okay, or the timing of the dragon, which is about 18 months in the world of Sagittarius. That's my plausible timing that I have for you. Now, this does not mean that you want to go out there and start to hurt the president. So, you know, we stop coronavirus. These are just words that are well calculated and are real, but they are words of the future, which you haven't yet experienced. And that's why you're listening and watching these videos, because if these videos still on YouTube when everything is said and done, you're going to go back and say, geez, you know what, Dr. Turi was right all along. And I know I'm right. But again, that's me to know and you to find out in time. For now, what I can give you is my next window of the 7, 8, and 9, where I told you to be careful with what you say or what you do. I'm expecting unrest, police being killed, police killing people, crazy people going out there and start to shoot everybody. And this is why I attracted the FBI twice in this house, because I gave dates, exact date of terrorist attacks. So we're moving into that window, secrets, and sex, and things under the table. Then all the details are for you if you're a VIP or if you're a Patreon supporter. And if you're part of the public, you get what you get. You get me and you get this video and you get my free newsletter, which is much better than what people are giving you, knowing that a lot of people give you nothing. All right. So this is what I have for you. Please take the time to click on the link, because you may be a visual, which means you learn more by reading than audible, by learning by listening to me, especially with my French accent. So take the time, my good friend, to go and read the newsletter and then be part of the solution. You know, let's push that positivity. Remember, in this very nasty, negative time, you don't have to waste it. You can put your hand on my book, Beyond the Secret, The Power of the Dragon, and learn the supreme, powerful, divine cosmic forces that are part of your being. Handle this energy, or learn, direct this energy so that you can make your future a reality, because it comes down to this. Your future is nothing else than the reincarnations of your thoughts. And that's why it's important to keep them positive. And if you have a position of power, and if a lot of people are listening to you, you know, don't sign up for people to regurgitate fears of the government, fear of power, because they are responding to their natal Aries stars. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say, my good friends. I just finished a reading with a lady. And it was a very, very interesting educational reading. She learned a lot. And I always, as much as I teach, I also learn at the same time. And this is why those videos, and that's what my reading all about, passing on information that helps both sides growing into God cosmic design. All right. So again, this probably will be my last video for the time being, because I'm going to jump in my truck tomorrow again. Remember, I don't have to do this job. In fact, it's very, very painful because my back is killing me. But I want to be part of the action. I want to be in the front line where nobody wants to go. I want to go and give whatever equipment I have in these 2 trailers behind me working for FedEx. And then like I do, you know, wear your mask, be smart. You know, if you have to wear gloves. Keep your distances. You know, somebody will sneeze. You know, his sneeze can get to you, you know, 10 feet away and hang in the air. Or you sneeze on the bank where you're going to be sitting on a park here, and you're going to touch it, and you're going to touch your face, and that's it. And you're going to go through hell and maybe die. So be smart. Don't fear the reptilius. Don't fear the virus, but be smart. And remember, ultimately, if you are no part of the creation of the virus, in other words, if you did not endorse Trump fears of foreigners, okay, that ultimately all those billions and trillions of racist thought came up to create the virus, because now this is the new world and the new war of Mr. President Trump, who wanted to have this wall. Well, guess what? The wall is here, okay? It is not a physical wall. It is a spiritual wall. So if you are not part of the creation, in other words, if you send love and light to every foreigners, okay, and realize that America is America because of foreigners, then you have no way to attract something you did not create. A magnet will attract a piece of wood. Work for the Draconis, love, light, education, hope, okay? And then be part of the solution, no fear, and help us not only erase this nasty virus, but also erase fear and idiocy, because that's what feed the reptilius. And you don't want to feed those entities. We need to kick those guys outside of our solar system as we're embracing the new age of Aquarius. And remember, doesn't matter how much you feel about the entire situation. Might be we're all going to die. Now, the reptilius may want to hurt us because they need our fear to survive in dark matter, but they're not going to kill the dog that gives them the blood. And the Draconis, most of all, would never, ever allow those entities to completely take control of planet Earth and the human race. So I have to leave you with that positive thought. Until then, hey, God bless you, all of you, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.